Hello, everybody. Hopefully, you all had a fantastic and safe weekend. Today on the channel, I want to discuss the whole situation going on between The Rock and Cody Rhodes and the lead up to WrestleMania 40 in Philadelphia. And I want to talk about whether this is being worked or is it a shoot, because there's a lot of people on both sides of the fence that feel like this whole situation was a work from the get-go. Everything that was going on between Cody Rhodes and The Rock back on SmackDown, this was all leading up to a massive main event at WrestleMania 40. This was all planned by WWE and The Rock the entire time. And I just kind of want to discuss it. I just want to have a nice, healthy conversation. Let's discuss the fact. Let's discuss both sides of the argument here, and let's see if we come to a conclusion. You can leave your conclusion, you can leave your answer in the comment box below and tell me what you guys think. So I will show you my cards. I will tell you how I feel on the situation. I feel that it was a shoot that ended up becoming a work. What do I mean by that? Well, I feel like the original plan was for The Rock to come in and main event WrestleMania 40 against Roman Reigns. That's what I honestly feel from the bottom of my heart, like deep in my gut. I feel that was the original plan. Because when you look at it, everything that they're doing now, right? You look at everything they're doing now, from the press conference to all that stuff that's going on, The Rock turning heel and really just kind of like defending Roman, doesn't make a whole lot of sense now, right? You look at the promo that we originally got with Cody Rhodes going, "Hey, I want to take everything from you. You know, I've been getting counsel from The Rock," and then you see The Rock talking to him, right, for a while there. Like, what's that conversation going on? I honestly felt like that The Rock fell, and I'm not blaming The Rock for anything, right? I can see where The Rock is coming from. In Rock's mind, he's thinking the biggest main event we can give is me versus Roman for head of the table. That's what The Rock, this is something The Rock has been wanting to do for a few years now. So I understand why The Rock would say, "Hey, I want to go in and I want to main event WrestleMania," not really caring that they were building this 2-year storyline with Cody and Roman. So The Rock comes in and goes, "Hey, you know, I'm now head, or not head of the board, but at least on the board of directors." And he's going to go up to Cody Rhodes and kind of just say, "Hey, man, you know, how about you take a back seat? We can give you your title some other time. I think this is better for business if we have this main event." And then Cody comes out and delivers this promo about how "I'm going to take everything from you," and so on and so forth. And then he clearly says in that promo, "but not at WrestleMania." So at that particular time, he pretty much says like, "Hey, look, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do all this, but not this year at WrestleMania." And then The Rock comes out and they have that exchange where they're hugging and he's whispering something in his ear for quite a while. And then that leads into the backlash between the fans and everything that went on through the house events to Raw to even the WrestleMania press show. And things just kind of, to me, everything kind of went weird at that point. I loved everything from the press conference. I loved it. It was so entertaining, right? The Rock coming out, showing the family tree, and The Rock just kind of turning a corporate Rock heel like I loved that. It was so entertaining. When he slapped Cody, I was like, "Man, this is crazy." Like I like, it made me that more hyped for WrestleMania because it was so crazy and so over the top. I was like, "This is awesome." But you take those two segments, right? You take that segment at Vegas with that press conference, and then you compare that to the energy that we got from SmackDown, and it's two completely different things, right? You can see where one was setting up something and it was being more genuine on how they were doing it, right? Like The Rock, like Cody was gonna step down and all this stuff, and The Rock was gonna face Roman, and then what Cody was gonna do, we don't know at that point. But right, it felt like that was the clear path that The Rock wanted to go on, and then the fan backlash hit, and then I felt like WWE then had to pivot. Right, they had to pivot and go in a different direction, and that's what we saw on Raw and at the press conference. And now it looks like, okay, we're gonna get Roman versus Cody, and then they're gonna, and that's the main event. But that's the main event that people wanted to see to start with, right? People wanted to see that main event to start with. So, to me, in my opinion, I feel like what started off as a shoot ended up turning into a work. I think what's going on right now is 100% a work, right? Like the whole Rock turning heel, like slapping Cody, that's all 100% work. The one thing I like about The Rock, right? The one thing I like about The Rock is he understands the business aspect of wrestling. He's been there for a while. He understands. Like you can say what you want about the way he forces himself in movies and stuff like that, but he understands what's going on in the world of wrestling. He's been there forever, right? He's been there. He knows, right? He knows more about the wrestling business than a lot of people do. So when I feel like when The Rock had that backlash and he started chanting Rocky sucks, WWE leaned into that. They're like, oh, how, because a lot of companies, they fail to listen to the fans, right? I at least give WWE credit for this. The same situation happened back at WrestleMania 30 with Daniel Bryan. So there's been cases of this before, but also to me, The Rock was using his creative control card, basically like Hulk Hogan. Like, hey, I'm part of the board of directors now. I can come in and do what I want. I want this main event. I'm going to take this main event. And then the fans said, nah, not going to happen. No way. We want Cody. And that made everybody kind of pivot. And the one thing I will give The Rock props for is for him to turn heel and do that in order to make this story work. I give him props for that, right? I don't like the fact that he inserted himself in that main event originally. I promise you on my mother's grave, I promise you, if there was no fan backlash, the main event would never have changed. If there wasn't any fan backlash, we would have had Roman versus The Rock at WrestleMania. If all the fans just said, hey, cool, right, we like The Rock. You remember when The Rock came out on that SmackDown and everybody cheered, oh my God. But then everybody at home was like, yo, wait. Does that mean Cody's not going to finish the story, right? If everybody would have had the same reaction as that audience did at that event, we would be sitting here getting ready for Roman versus The Rock. I guarantee you, I guarantee you on my mom's grave, I guarantee you that's what would have happened. But since the fans said no and backlashed on the situation, that made them have to pivot. And I give props for The Rock for allowing that pivot to happen because it took his character in a different direction and he's leaning into it. He knows the hate that's coming his way, and a lot of people would try to like not live up to that. Like, oh man, I'm getting all this heat, I need to start being like super nice, right? No, he leaned into the hate that he was getting, and I give him props for that. Lean into that. I still think there's so many different outcomes as this could have. There's an outcome where this could be a triple threat. This could be an outcome where The Rock interferes. I do feel like The Rock is not going to stay heel. I think he's going to end up being what costs Roman the title, which will then set up Roman versus The Rock later down the line, which I feel like that's the way they should have done, because the entire time I felt like Cody needed to get rid of the bloodline in order to make it a fair fight, because we know how Roman acts. The bloodline interferes, and that's how he retains his title. They needed to eliminate bloodline somehow, and I feel like The Rock is going to be that Mike Tyson from WrestleMania 14, where he's going to look like he's on the bloodline side, it's all about family, but then he's going to cost Roman that title, and The Rock's going to be like, you should be ashamed. You put shame to this family and to the legacy of our family. You put shame to our bloodline, and now, since your title is gone, I'm taking the head of the table away from you, right? That's what I honestly feel is going to happen. Right now, things are kind of up in the air, but I don't really know where things are going, to be honest with you. One thing I did not like about the press conference was it kind of made Roman look weak, where The Rock was the one really doing all the talking, doing all the stepping up and all that stuff, and Roman kind of just took a back seat to all that, and it kind of made Roman look like the little brother or the beta to The Rock's alpha, and I did not like that. I wanted Roman to stay as that alpha man, because if he is the man, what's the old saying, guys? To be the man, you got to beat the man. Cody has to beat that man, right? And for The Rock to kind of come in and overshine Roman, I don't necessarily like that, but I do think this is leading into some kind of story. So long answer short here. I personally feel that this was a shoot that ended up being a work. I believe everything we saw from this point forward is absolutely a work. I think it started off that this was the main event. This is what they were going to give us. And by the end of it, they ended up swerving because they heard the fan backlash. And I appreciate them listening. You know, I think a lot of corporations could listen to their fan base and fix certain things. I'm looking at you, Disney. I'm looking at you, Star Wars. So I do think it's a positive thing. You know, and you got to give kudos to The Rock for moving that up and switching it up, because he didn't have to, right? He leaned into that heel role, which I very much appreciate. But now it's kind of curious. I'll tell you what. This has been the most exciting lead up to WrestleMania I have seen in many, many years watching wrestling. You know, like this year's WrestleMania is something that I'm very much looking forward to, because I just want to see where everything goes. But anyway, that is my thoughts on it, guys. Leave your comments in the comment box below. How do you feel about this whole situation? Do you think this was just a work from the get-go? What are some of the things that you think are key elements to that argument that this was a work from the get-go? Or are you someone like me who feels like, no, it was supposed to be Cody versus The Rock the entire time, or The Rock versus Roman the entire time, and then they went ahead and switched it up because of the backlash? Please, everybody, leave that in the comment box below. Please smash that like and subscribe button. It helps out so much. Every time someone hits the like button, it helps with the algorithm. You hit the subscribe button, the channel grows. If you guys like me doing these wrestling content videos here on the channel, please let me know. Leave a comment in the comment box below. And until next time, as always, I am Robert Storms, and thank you so much for watching.